You're saying so if
standards.
I had standards that it wouldn't have
then
happened to me?
maybe you would have seen some red flags, and maybe you would have analyzed why he left you without saying anything, and you wouldn't have ever been with a man that would disrespect you like that. Women's status is actually measured by being able to say no and hold those standards.
I think
And
you're
hold her
making yourself
boundaries.
look like a joke.
Okay, you want to explain why?
Because you're just sounding f***ing stupid. You're talking about shit you
Oh,
don't
no,
know.
Okay,
she
stop
sounds very
calling me
reasonable.
stupid and stop saying I'm making myself look like a joke and back it up with facts right now.
Didn't you say you respected yourself but then had one night stands?
Yeah, that was me when I was an 18-year-old
not respecting
girl.
yourself.
That was me when I was an 18-year-old girl, and people
Being
learn
a
from
garden
their
tool girl.
mistakes. You don't have to be so negative. I'm just saying you can learn from this, and maybe if you actually listen to her and how she holds standards, your ex-boyfriend or husband, whatever the fuck he was, wouldn't have stolen your money, and you wouldn't have been left with no explanation.
So
because-
you're telling me, so if you start off a relationship with someone where they're completely normal and then they flip a switch, that's my fault.
Respectfully, I really doubt that they were normal. I think that red flags were probably missed, and that you were probably blinded by love, like both of you.
Okay, what do you guys think about this video? Listen, it was a short clip. Shout out to the Whatever Podcast. Listen, they really be doing their thing over there. I think what the young woman was trying to say is you got to take some accountability. I think that's what she was trying to say. She was trying to explain that you need to have some sort of accountability for your actions as well, that all of the poor choices that you make is not always the fault of the other person. So basically, she's saying there were probably some red flags that you missed, some things that you should have been paying attention to. Also, you should have been more focused on the right things when you were so-called vetting these guys. Like, there are things that you should be looking for that were red flags that you didn't pay attention to or probably didn't even want to, because your focus probably was on something else and not the things that would matter for a healthy, long-lasting, stable relationship. And I think this is what a lot of people do. They go after individuals for the wrong reasons, and then they complain about the outcomes of the relationship when it doesn't work out. And I think men and women are guilty of this. It's not just women, but I think people are more women, in my opinion, and from what I've been seeing since I've been talking about this, this relationship divide between women and men, I see far more women who are in denial than men. There are far more women who are delusional when it comes to taking any responsibility for their part in the relationship. They just tend to just put it all on the men and never hold any accountability for their aspect in a relationship, because they don't think that they did anything wrong. They don't think that they, picked wrong. They don't think that, their attitudes or whatever the situation is, there's never any accountability. It's always, oh, he was a narcissist. He was abusive. He was this, he was that. And then you keep finding yourself in this pattern of picking the type of guys that are everything that you don't like. And then every time the relationship ends, you repeat the cycle over and over and over and over again. Oh, he was this, he was that, he was the problem. He didn't do this, he didn't do that. It's never any accountability on your part. And I think that's what she's saying. And so I think, once again, women hate to be wrong. They don't want to be blamed for something. When women think that they're blamed for something and they're the problem, it infuriates them. It makes them feel funny. They feel a certain type of way about it, so they don't ever want to be wrong. And I think that is a major problem that a lot of women have, and part of the reason as to why they can't keep stable relationships. You can't put all of the pressure on the men when it takes two for a relationship to work. And if you're not doing your part, then you have some responsibility as to why, you get the outcomes that you get. And I think that's what she was trying to explain in this particular video, which I think is important, and as long as women take this approach of, oh, we're always right, we don't make no mistakes because we're better, it's all the men just don't want to do what we want them to do. And anytime they have any pushback, you have pushback, and then you don't like it. And then you assume, oh, he's a bad guy, because he doesn't want to listen to me. He doesn't want to do what I want him to do. So he's the problem and I'm right. And if he doesn't do what I believe he should, then somehow something's wrong with him. And I think a lot of women take that approach and then they leave men that are probably decent guys, but their expectations, I think, for men is just through the roof. You can't expect to complain about control from a man, but you actually want to be the one controlling the man. That's really what I see. A lot of women want the control. They want you to just follow and do whatever they say. Women want to be in control. You want to call the shots. You want to do everything. So yeah, I think that's a big problem. So you're never going to be wrong. And as a man, baby, you're never going to be right. You're always going to be wrong, because if you're not doing what she wants you to do, then you are wrong. You know, just do what the woman, she's a woman. So being a woman in 2025 means that you can just walk all over a man. He's just supposed to take it. Being a woman means that you get your way 24/7. Being a woman means whatever you say goes. That's what y'all are saying now. You know, because you're a woman, a man's just supposed to just take your BS and listen to what you say and give you all his money. So this is what relationships are chalked up to. A woman is a woman and she's special. She's the prize. And as the man, you're not worth anything, but you're expected to bring the most to the table. You're not worth anything. What you have to say doesn't matter. Your points of view are invalid. You know, you're supposed to just shut up and listen to the woman. But then you are required to make all the money, pay all the bills, cater to her, do all these things, and shut up and just do that for the rest of your life. Who in their right mind is signing up for that? Because in a perfect world, this is what women are looking for. You're not a real man if you don't do it either. So your manhood is questioned when you don't do what the women say. That's what it's chalked up to. That's what the reality of it is. And because men are saying, no, we have standards. We're not going to just accept anything from you. We're not doing that. We're not paying, deposit to date you. We're not paying your bills. We're not doing none of that. Men wanted to have relationships with women and wanted women, not these independent, manly boss chick women who say they don't need a man. So y'all did it to yourselves. So now you can't turn around now that you don't like the outcomes and try to force a man to do something he's always been expected to do, by the way. But because now you're tired of doing it yourself, now you want him to come in and do it all. But now there's no benefit for him anymore. There's nothing that he really gets out of it. So a lot of men are opting out. And this is why there's, the dating pool is the way it is, because not because women chose to opt out. No, because men are opting out because of the attitudes, the mindsets, and what women have fought for, and how it's changed the dynamic of family households and marriage and all of this. In my opinion, it's not a good thing, but it's the reality of where we are. And now women are complaining still. So listen, I want to know your thoughts of this video in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. You know what it is. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content or go live, you guys. Chime in. I want to hear your thoughts on this particular video. Do you agree or do you disagree? Chime in. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.